Hey guys.
Hi guys. I can't help myself.
I know, me either. We had to introduce the episode somehow.
This is no music. This is a cold open.
Ashley and I wanted to take some time to talk about the Roe versus Wade decision that was passed down on Friday last week. And now that we're together, we just wanted to address you guys. And, you know, we've read your messages and listened to your thoughts and have our own thoughts. And we want to voice our support for how terrible we think this decision is and let you know that we stand with you in your outrage and your heartbreak. And we wanted to talk about the decision a little bit, and we'll scream into the void a little bit, and we're really angry, but we will also hopefully give you guys some resources in the end. And hopefully we can find comfort at least by sharing our thoughts together.
Yeah. I have a lot to say. I wrote some notes, so I just want to get it right. I mean, I want to kind of start up top and saying that we are going to express a lot of emotions and how we're feeling. And I think that we've all felt a range of emotions, and I'm sure that you guys all feel that as well. And we know that giving up and feeling helpless and feeling apathy and like there's nothing you can do is not the answer. So that is not how we are going to live our lives. But at the same time, we want to express this range of emotions. And sometimes it can feel that way, and we're allowed to feel that way and push through it and know that it's temporary, hopefully. And additionally, like, we're going to get fucking mad. And like Raina said, like, scream into the void a little bit. Does screaming into the void help? I mean, that's for you to decide. I think that it's the same thing. It's not the same thing, but it's similar to like protesting. It's like a lot of it is just like letting your voice be heard, feel a sense of community surrounding your beliefs, know that you're supported in how you feel. And for us to like pop off and get angry, it may be helpful to some of you. It may be therapeutic. It may help some of you who are surrounded by pro-birthers or anti-choicers is what I'm going to call them during this episode, and feel seen and supported, and maybe fire you up to do more, whatever that may be, and take action. And, you know, maybe there's a rare chance that an anti-choicer could change their mind. Probably not. They're probably not listening at this point, but you never know. And, you know, additionally, I want to say that we're not medical professionals, nor are we political analysts. And this is not it for our abortion coverage. And it never will be while women are still fighting for these rights in America. So we did do a full episode on this before with Mira Shaw. That was in August 2020. Yeah. So that was Dr. Mira Shaw came on in August 2020, and we talked with her. So we'd love for you guys to go back and listen if you haven't listened to that yet. It is a very facts-only episode on abortion, and we've both spoken to Mira in the last couple of days. I mean, she's just raging. We're all raging. And we want to have someone on to discuss the political side of this. We tried to get Elizabeth Warren to come on with us today. I was like, I will be willing to edit Elizabeth Warren, because after this, I have to edit this. Listen, I might not. I might throw it up. I don't care. Like, but 10
a.m. we fired a shot at Elizabeth.
We did. I was like, let's just see if Elizabeth has the time. So this will not stop. You guys know that. You know how we feel. And again, last thing I want to say up top is just like, give us some grace with this. Things are always changing. We don't have all the answers. We don't claim to. We're speaking from the heart. We're trying not to spread any misinformation unintentionally, but I think that things are constantly changing. I mean, for an example, I'm not saying that this is an accurate example, but like, donate to abortion funds. It's like, what if these become criminal organizations? Like, we don't know what could change, and we're doing that now. Don't get it twisted, but we can only speak on what we know right now. And so those are my things I wanted to say up top.
Yeah. And in addition, I would just like to say, we believe in everybody's right to choose. And if you don't think that abortion is right, that's fine too. And I support your right to feel like my religious beliefs don't support having an abortion, or I'm a mother and I don't understand how anybody else could do this. That's also fine too. All that I see in this is a horrific attack on basic human rights. I don't care what other people do with their bodies. I think most people are rational. Most women are rational. Even people that don't believe that you should get abortions are still okay with other people doing what they want with their bodies.
Most people don't want this.
Yeah.
And it's not religious, because we have a separation of church and state. Like, your religious beliefs don't fucking matter. We're not a Christian country. We're a country that has religious freedom. So you even saying religion made me fucking freak the fuck out. Like, the Supreme Court just passed another thing that says teachers and coaches can lead children in prayer in school. Like, I'm so angry.
I'm Jewish. This doesn't even apply to me.
Like, this is fucking, I saw a Jewish woman on Twitter be like, how dare you shove your religious beliefs down my throat?
Mm-hmm. I really believe the majority of people are rational. Even if you don't believe in abortion, most people don't care what the fuck other people do with their bodies. They're like, go ahead, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I believe in abortion. I think that there's 100 reasons. There's a million reasons why you wouldn't want kids. I think that you should do it. If you don't believe in it, fine too. I'm never going to want to be told what to do with my body.
No, like, this is the worst thing that has happened in American politics in our lifetime. This is the worst thing that has happened to women in our lifetime. Like, I feel like they fucking got us. They've been punching us and kicking us and trying to knock us down, and we just get back up. And like, I feel like they finally knocked us down, but they're not gonna knock us out. And it's so hard sometimes to want to fight back. Like, we're all so exhausted. And I'm not even a person who's that affected by this. I live in New York City. I don't want children. And I'm going to make sure I do everything I can to not get pregnant. Like, I have money. I am white. You know, like, I'm not a woman that doesn't have money, that lives in a red state, that is a woman of color. Like, I hate to bring race into this, but I want to acknowledge it. And I want to acknowledge my privilege and my resources. And it's just like, it doesn't matter. Like, this hits everybody. There is no more like, this won't affect me. Like, it will affect you. And I'm thinking of all the women who will be so affected. And on top of that, just none of us are safe with leaders like this in place. Like, you're never safe if they're not coming for you now. Your time will come. And I don't mean that to sound like a threat. I just mean to say that, like, please don't sit back and be like, this doesn't affect me.
The first thing that Clarence Thomas said as soon as this passed was, we're coming for gay marriage next.
Gay intimacy.
Yes.
Not gay marriage, gay intimacy. It's like, what the fuck? Also, you're in an interracial marriage, like, which is also one that could be in the chopping block because of what they're going after in the Constitution, contraception. I mean, don't get me fucking started, but like, it's terrifying and it's so sickening. And I'm straight. It's like, I can't imagine what it feels like to be a queer person in America right now. It
feels like a true attack on women. It feels like these people
It doesn't feel like
women.
It is.
And I feel like all of the pieces of legislation we could have put in place, we could have focused on to make the country better. What we're doing is uplifting gun rights and allowing people to have more access to guns based on an amendment that was written in 1791 by men who owned slaves, did not have modern day educations. Women weren't even mentioned back then. You had no rights.
Women had no rights.
Vote. No one cared about women. And so we're saying that the founding fathers who died of malaria at the age of 25, they have the right to uphold the laws that those people put in place. But we're going to strike down a law that was made in 1973 by modern day people.
Listen, I'm going to take a different direction here.
Do it.
I think the Constitution is a fucking legit document. And I think the founding fathers did a good job. But they intended it to be flexible in order to fit the changing needs and circumstances of the country. Thomas Jefferson thought it should be updated every 19 years. Do you know this? Like,
no, I don't know this.
They would be mortified right now. I know that a lot of them were slave-owning rapists. Again, but I'm just saying, like, they wouldn't want this.
Right.
Like,
it's crazy.
They thought it was supposed to change. Like, it hasn't changed in so long. Like, that's what's so insane, even more so, is that the founding fathers and the Constitution weren't like, this is set in stone, abide by this till the end of time. That's what's even more fucked up.
Right. If you want to be like a constitutional literist, like if you want to go by the word of them, I wouldn't use a manual from 5 years ago, let alone a document built to govern from hundreds of years ago. It's insane.
Yes. I mean, there's so many different angles to take on this, but like, I agree with you, but I'm also like, they wouldn't want this. I can't say it enough. Like, these Supreme Court judges, like, fuck these lying ass motherfuckers, lied under oath. They all said that they would uphold Roe. 3 of them were appointed by Donald Trump, who was a one-term president who was impeached twice, who led an insurrection. Like, Clarence Thomas was appointed by George H.W. Bush, another one-term president. How is this real life? And then they hold these seats for life. Like, this feels like the fucking purge. Like, it truly does. And like, I cannot believe back-to-back days they said that the states shouldn't be able to decide about gun restrictions, but the states should be able to decide about abortion. I mean, their hypocrisy, like, those people, those absolute garbage humans, I truly lack the words. Like the anger against them is truly what keeps me up at night. Like I can't believe this. I cannot believe that the way that they are allowed to be appointed and stay in office for life and like what they're doing, like they're not going to fucking stop. I can't believe this prayer thing today. Like it's one right after the other. It's just like we keep getting fucking punched in the face.
I don't get it. And they enact these laws to protect something that is the size of a poppy seed, but they don't care what happens after it becomes a real human. And I read this great article. I'm sorry I can't quote who wrote it, but it was talking about how a human that doesn't exist is an easy thing to advocate for because it's not asking anything of you. It's not in poverty. It's not sick. It's not a minority. It's not gay. It's not transgender. It doesn't need you for anything. So it's a very easy thing to advocate for the unborn and then what? Do nothing? We're not going to protect our children from getting shot in the head in their preschool.
Yes. It's not about babies. It's never been about babies. Like these people do not give a shit about human life. That's why they've never considered doing anything to help prevent kids getting murdered at school. In America, we don't have universal health care, universal child care, required paid maternity leave. So I don't know that a lot of people know this. There are only like 8 states that have publicly funded paid maternity leave, and none of them are the ones with the trigger laws. Like the states that have outlawed abortion, the ones with the trigger laws, none of them have any publicly funded paid maternity leave. The US is the only rich country in the entire world that offers no national paid parental leave program. The only one. It's embarrassing. Like we do nothing for mothers and I don't want kids. So it's like, I know because this is a part of my personality, but I can't believe it. And the baby formula crisis, and then I'll stop. All of the baby formula crisis, all of the House Democrats supported the emergency spending bill for baby formula. 192 Republicans voted against it. 192, almost all of them. 12 Republicans voted for it and all the House Democrats voted for it. And that's why it was passed. Baby formula, like that. This is the most sickening thing. Like if I want to use one example to show how much they don't care about babies, it's literally that they were like, fuck your formula.
It's truly insane.
They don't care. It's about women's bodies because when women control their bodies, they can control their lives. And what they don't want is empowered women, empowered, educated women that can make the decisions about their own body and their own life. This is all to disempower women and it always has been.
Yeah. And I think about what it's meant to be a woman my entire life, like regulating my period and making sure that I'm not getting pregnant. And the amount of money that I have spent on birth control and sneaking off to Planned Parenthood when I was in high school to get it, and the pain that people feel getting an IUD put in, and how humiliating it is to stand in line and ask for Plan B in the morning, and expensive, by the way, that no man has ever offered to buy for me. I do all these things so that men that I sleep with do not have to be burdened. I've had sex with men that came inside of me without asking, are you on birth control? And what do? I march my ass to CVS and I take care of it. And I have done so many things so that the men in my life did not have to be annoyed. And so many women get abortions. And I'm not saying that, like, listen, it is what it is to be a man. Men can get pregnant, so I don't expect them to understand it. You know, I've spent my entire life talking to my girlfriends every 5 minutes about my period and contraception, what it's doing to your body, and the emotional breakdowns that you feel from it, and how crazy it makes you, and bloated, and it fucks up your tits, and you get lumps in your breasts, and all the things that, like, birth control does to your fucking body, and what abortion can do to your body, and what motherhood does to your body. Like, all the things that women go through so that men are not bothered, and it's fine, but all I ask of men, I'm not even asking you to go on birth control. I do think that all men should be required to get vasectomies. I've been seeing all these memes that are like, men should get vasectomies at 13 or reverse them when they're like ready to have kids, you know?
Yeah.
But you guys don't want to do that. We talked a few weeks ago on male birth control and how they can't even pass the trials because men won't do it because men are fucking weak. And women, Casey Balsham has a great post on Instagram this week, if you want to look at it, about how women have been training for this their whole lives. Just every day of our lives is just pain and inconvenience. Yeah. And all I'm asking from men, because we've done all of these things for you, is to just let me do what I fucking want with my own body. That's it.
And most of them do.
Yes.
Like, you know, what I don't want to do is praise men for doing the right thing and speaking out, but thank you to them that have. Fucking Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy posted a thing. I encourage you guys to go look at it. I agreed with most of it. I'm not a fan, but like he is someone I think that does represent a lot of more moderate people, a lot of men in this country that are like, what the fuck? No one wants this. Like, no, it's diabolical. And they want to outlaw contraception. Like, can we talk about how deranged it is to claim you want to have less abortions and then also outlaw the one thing that could prevent unwanted pregnancy and abortion? Like, it is deranged. It's sick. Any woman who was on board with this, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, have people really processed this that these same people, this small minority of fucking insane radicals that just so happen to hold the highest level of court in this country, want something that is so deranged, truly? No contraception and no abortion. What?
Right. What if their mistresses get pregnant?
I mean, a lot of people have said that this is like, they want white women to procreate. I mean, this is all based, if you want to tie back to like white supremacy and what this country is built on. Clarence Thomas, I don't know what the fuck, but I mean, that, I don't want to not say that part of it. I mean, I think that we're seeing a lot of the stuff, and there's so many different things that we could discuss. We could discuss this for hours upon hours, but I mean, men should be scared too. These are their kids too. Like, you got to pay for these kids too. I mean, I'm not, listen, I personally have seen a lot of men speaking up, and I really love to see it. So I don't want to shit all over men, because I have seen a lot of support and I know how they feel.
I think that I don't expect them to feel as impassioned about this because they haven't lived half of their lives trying to not get pregnant. I get it. And I think that so many men are, of course, supportive of this, of their girlfriends, of their wives, of their daughters, and of their, of whoever. I mean, my father, all I did all weekend was talk to my dad about it, my uncle. I mean, I don't think that men don't feel emboldened by this. Sometimes they don't know where their voice should be heard. But any voice from men is appreciated. And I think, and I don't hate men. I hate the few men that voted for this.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It just goes without saying that there's so much fucked up shit that will happen because of this. And, there are so many health issues when we talk about like ectopic pregnancies or a mother's health being at risk. And I hate even using them. Kate and I were talking about this. Like, I don't even like even using them, because we shouldn't have to. It should just be a woman's body, her choice, full stop. We don't need to get into ectopic pregnancy. It shouldn't even matter, because it should just be like, it doesn't matter what's going on. You should have the choice no matter what. But, these have become very much a discussion point now. And I think people are like, well, there's laws in every state that prevent the mother's death. It's like, who decides that? Are you seeing some of these things happen? Like, you have to go talk to a legal team to see how much you might die.
And then like an ectopic pregnancy can rupture in the hospital. Your body can flood with this blood. You can die. I really feel for these doctors and these healthcare workers. They're not going
to do it. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, that's where it trickles down to. Like, fuck your exception if the mom's about to die. What? Someone has to decide that. She could die in the meantime. And then doctors are scared to do this. Like, they're going to have to go up in front of a court of law to prove that this woman was about to die. Like, they're not going to want to do it. There's going to be less doctors doing it. Women will die. What this is going to do is so deep.
I don't understand it. Also, if you miscarry, they have to abort it from your body. Right. Otherwise, if you carry it to term, you could also die. I mean, the answer to so many of these things is you will die.
Yes.
And I feel so horrible for healthcare workers that have to make this decision of like, do I let this person die? I feel worse for the person that's making the decision to, I feel worse for the patient, of course.
Of course.
I'm, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible position to be put in. I can't even imagine.
And so then they're not going to do it. It's crazy that you could. Again, I hate to use these extreme examples because we shouldn't even have to, but like, you get rushed to the hospital, and then what, a fucking medical board has to review what's the percentage you might die. In the meantime, who knows what state, like, people are, the doctors, I mean, some of them will step up and they'll do whatever, and they will risk their career and they will put their lives on the line to do this. And like, I have all the admiration in the world, but some won't. And the resources will become even less, and more women will die, or they will be at risk of dying. And like, I was watching this TikTok of this woman that went super viral, and it just like ripped my heart out, because she was like in the hospital bed. She's like, I have blood clots in my brain from this pregnancy. I am losing my eyesight, and they have to decide whether or not my health is at risk. I have 2 other children at home. Like, this was a woman just trying to have her 3rd child. She's like, I have 2 children at home. I have a husband. I have a life. And you're trying to tell me what I can do with this baby that's killing me from the inside.
And I hate the people that have said, but abortion is still available. What, I'm going to get in a car when I'm in that state and drive for 7 hours? Absolutely
not.
You
don't have you probably don't, you may not have the money.
Right.
Like, I mean, yeah, like, first of all, we live in a state where we could, but if we didn't and we had the money and the resources that we have now, sure, easy. But this is like, who cares? Like, we're all in this together. Mm-hmm. And I can't believe this is real life. Like, I can't believe that, like, we're talking about taking period tracking apps on your phone. Like, I can't believe, I told you that earlier and you were like, what?
Yeah, I'd never heard of such a thing. It feels, I mean, everybody's liking it to like the Handmaid's Tale. It feels like this totally like ridiculous society that I don't really understand. Like, how is this going to unfold over like months and years? And Ashley made a fantastic list of resources, and of course we'll give them to you guys. But like the thought of like stocking up on Plan B and stocking up on birth control, and like I have an IUD, and what am I supposed to do? Is it going to be legal to have that in my body? Like,
right.
I don't know.
Right. Like I cannot believe this. I mean, I was talking to my mom. I lost my mind when I saw this post about this doctor or these nurses in Missouri saying that they couldn't give out Plan B. It's not illegal yet, but they were saying they just are scared, and they were sending people to Kansas who had been raped. I was like, I can't. I just called my mom like fucking screaming and crying. And she was like, if your grandmother was alive to see this, and I lost my mind. Like our grandparents, our moms who fought for this, like they can't believe we're back here. Like the fact that she said that, I was like, I can't even imagine the older people who like dealt with this once, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And are like never dreamed that this could fucking happen. Like it's so sick. It's so depraved. It's so embarrassing. We said this before when you voted for Donald Trump and you said, what's the worst that could happen? Fucking this. And this is just the beginning. And that I feel comfortable saying that because I don't like to be overly dramatic and fear mongering, but we didn't think this would happen. This is the worst thing. Like there is what they're doing, what they just did today, what they just did with guns. Like they're not going to fucking stop until they burn it all to the ground. And we're going to share resources and we're going to fight back and we're not giving up. But like I was just telling you, like I feel like it's like the fourth quarter of your team in the playoffs and you feel that feeling like we're not going to win. We could score one more field goal. We could do this thing. And then you're like, we can't, we've lost. They won. And I know that's not the answer, but like, that's how it felt on Friday.
I think about though, like what my mom did to like, to march for women's rights and, you know, to so many of our mothers and our grandmothers did to make this a law 50 years ago. And, you know, they did it without resources, without the internet, without so many things that we have today. And like the only thing that you can do is fight these motherfuckers. Our mothers did it and our grandmothers did it. And like, we have to do it. It's not enough anymore to post something on social media and go about your day. I think that like we've learned that. I don't feel that that's my generation or Gen Z. I don't feel like that's you guys. We know you're so angry. We stand with you, but we have to fight. And like, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we know that there's bad shit on both sides, but what are people scared of that the Democrats are going to do? They have to win for this to happen. Like these states have to turn blue. I feel like that's a pipe dream. I mean, it is the answer if we're going to talk about voting and policy change is you just have to vote for the Democrats. And I'm not saying that as like Democrats are perfect. They can do no wrong. We don't believe that. We've said it before, but I'm coming from a place of like, that's the answer when we're talking about voting. It just is. And that's really all there is to it. And that's just facts. But that's what we're able to have what we have.
Yes. I mean, I don't think this is a perfect political system. I don't think there's two types of people in the whole world, you know? I don't think there's just Democrats and Republicans. Like there's a lot of people that believe things on both sides of the aisle. Of course. It's just, I feel that Republicans will now be pressured to be even more radicalized in their policies. I feel like this is not stopping. I feel like they are emboldened. I feel like just like you said, what's the worst that could happen with Donald Trump? He emboldened all these people.
Yes.
Like you look at Florida. Members of the Proud Boys are on the highest level of government in Florida. Like things you would never imagine could happen is happening because Donald Trump empowered these people.
Yes. That Republican representative, Mary Miller, at the Trump rally when she said this is a victory for white life. What? Did you see that?
No.
It's everywhere.
Sounds like them.
The headline is like, she said the quiet part out loud. They're emboldened. That's the exact word. Like the white supremacists, the anti-gay, they are emboldened. And it's so scary. And these people are the same people that a lot of them that believe in replacement theory, which provoked the Buffalo shooter. Their goal is just to like make the white population bigger and like take our country back, which we stole from the Native Americans.
I know. And you saw this years ago when there was no evidence of voter fraud whatsoever anywhere. And all of these politicians doubled down that Donald Trump had lost the election because it was stolen from him. Like rational people that we have voted for, that we've put into office, were swearing up and down there was all this voter fraud. There was never any proof of it at all. Like it scares me what these people will lean into just to like fuck the Democratic Party. party. That's it.
Yeah.
Because there's two kinds of people and that's it. We're on one side, you're on the other, and fuck you.
I know. It's sick. I mean, we just go off forever. Like, again, we're just going to not stop talking about this. I mean, I feel like we've said the same thing so many different times, like donate to this thing, vote, and still look what happened. But voting still matters on every level, especially on your state level, as we're looking to our states right now to support us. You look at the states that are blue and you look at the states that are red, and I could go get an abortion right now. No questions asked. So could someone in California. So could someone in Illinois. So it does matter. I had posted this on my story, and we can post it on ours as well. But if you want to see when your primary is there, some have passed, but some primaries are still happening. You can go to usa.gov and find voting and find your state. Also, the site is fvap.gov, and that lists every list of primaries. Some primaries have runoffs. Again, some have passed, and we're just going to be straight to the midterm. So we have until November when we're actually, a midterm election. For now, I do think donating to abortion funds are a great thing to do. Obviously, Act Blue is great. I dropped a stack on there and they split it between more than 80 abortion funds. I did that back when we thought this might happen. And of course, still donating, but that is the National Network of Abortion Funds via Act Blue.
You can find them at abortionfunds.org.
The Abortion Fund, I think, on Instagram, and they're all over. I've seen things of like what could become illegal and what couldn't. I mean, I would look into abortion pills. We cannot stress enough that they are safe. Mira spoke about that, and I chatted with her the other day about them too. We put these systems in place for times like these, and otherwise too, but look into abortion pills. They are safe. And, I've seen different things of like set up a forwarding address to a blue state. I get wary about encouraging people to do things that could result in any legal action. And we just don't know what's going down. I mean, now the Pentagon's involved in this shit. Like, it's all messy. It's so messy because now the country is divided into the states that are criminalizing this and states that aren't. So I don't really know what the long-term outcome is, but these are all resources. Someone that I really think to follow is Emily in Your Phone. That's her Instagram handle. And she's just really good with daily action items. She is a formal counsel on the Senate Dems. She's a political consultant. I believe she's an attorney, but Emily in Your Phone is great. And like what you can do and like have your voice heard. Elizabeth Warren says that she is fighting for expanding our Senate majority so we can eliminate the filibuster and codify Roe, expanding the Supreme Court to rebalance this institution, defending abortion rights in states through ballot measures and down ballot elections. So, I mean, again, I'm not a political expert. Expanding the court, I would love it. I don't know that it's Joe Biden has come forward and said it's not feasible. But I love the idea. Another good follow just in general, if you go to newyorkmag.com, the cut specifically on New York Mag, they have so many resources. They put out an article, this magazine can help you get an abortion. Just Google find an abortion. Yes. They'll help you find abortions. Women are sharing their stories, how to get help for your abortion. They're sharing tons of funds. They had incredible information about which states have trigger laws, when these things will go into effect. So just go to thecut.com. There is really unbelievable information there for you guys as well. And there are, of course, a lot floating around about the must-wins election for abortion access. I'm looking right now. I saw a post. There's the attorney general in Michigan, a Kansas governor. Just vote. Like, look up what these people stand for, like how you could swing or your state a certain way, and like the votes that need to be won. I mean, I lived in Georgia, and I'm so hot on Georgia, and Stacey Abrams really needed to win this. I don't really know at this moment what's going on with Brian Kemp trying to put this six-week heartbeat law into effect. Georgia didn't have a trigger law, but I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. We might do some stuff there in the fall to really promote Stacey Abrams. We can't hype her enough and hope that she wins that election. And we'll keep posting these things as well. I mean, we just can't feel hopeless because that's their goal, is for us to just give up and throw in the towel and say that this is the way things are. And we don't plan on doing that. But again, like, follow some of these people that know more than us and can speak on it better than us.
And there's great podcasts. The Daily is great. They've had some fantastic episodes about Pod Save America. And just remember to fight. Just remember in 1972, this wasn't a law either. And millions of women got together and they fought for it and they demanded it. And this became a law. And it can become a law again that abortion will be fully accessible in 50 states. I have to hope.
Yeah.
I have to hope that if we just mobilize and stick together and never shut the fuck up ever, that we can put this back into place, because nobody knew back then that they would ever be able to surmount this either. And they did.
Yeah. There is the Women's Health Protection Act, which is federal legislation that would protect the right to access abortion in every U.S. state, despite the Supreme Court's ruling overturning Roe. This is the law that would codify Roe, and it has passed the House. It has not passed the Senate. So call your fucking senators. Tell them you want this. We may as well try to abolish the filibuster and pass the Women's Health Protection Act. And you can look up more about this online, of course. For us and for people in like hardcore blue states, like you could always call them and just say thank you. I mean, most people that call are calling to voice their frustration, like to ask for what they want to happen. So I think it's nice too, if you're like, I'm sitting pretty in New York or California, just pick up the phone and be like, thank you for all you do. You know, like I think these people want to feel like they're seen by their constituents as well.
I love that you said that. And I mean, I echo it sometimes when somebody says something mean to me about the podcast. I forget that there's thousands of people that don't say a nice thing. And I let that one person really crush me. And, you know, your political representatives are human too. And just, I love that. Just
tweet at them, just do whatever, like let them know, like, thank you for like standing up for us and supporting us. But again, the Women's Health Protection Act, I would look into that and just keep this all in mind. We'll keep posting resources, and feel free to send them to us, to email them to us. Someone sent me demandjustice.org. So I wanted to plug that as well. And Rain and I post a lot on our individual Instagrams. When we say post, that doesn't always mean this is going to be like on Girls Gotta Eat. So if you want to follow us, this isn't a plug to get more Instagram followers. I'm just saying that a lot of this comes straight from us. So Ash Hess, Raina.Greenberg, we post how we're feeling and what we're doing. And I'm going to put the things we talked about today. Hopefully I'll get all of them in the episode description with links. So again, we wanted to share how we felt today, but there are people that have more knowledge and expertise than we do.
Yeah. We love you guys. We know a lot of our audience is female. We know a lot of our male audience stands by our female audience. And so many of you are sad and angered, and we will never, ever stop talking about this and fighting with you guys for this.
Yeah. Okay. We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.